When most people hear the term hybrid athlete, they imagine someone that runs a marathon for breakfast and does a powerlifting meet for lunch. And I'm not gonna lie, social media does make it look that way. But here's the thing, most people have jobs, families, and real responsibilities. I'm a father, husband, and active duty soldier, and there's absolutely no way I can train the way these fitness influencers do online. But here's the thing, hybrid training can absolutely work for busy people, and I'm going to show you exactly how. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how to make running and lifting work as a busy person and the biggest three mistakes that most people make when they start hybrid training. And the last one might surprise you. When I first started hybrid training, I made a lot of mistakes. At the time, I was lifting pretty regularly and I assumed myself to be a pretty fit person. And so when I started running 20 miles a week, going from 0 to 20 miles per week. And I did not reduce any of my lifting. What soon happened is I felt tired, burnt out, depleted, I got weaker, and I somehow even got slower even though I was running more than I ever had at that time. At first, I thought to myself, maybe hybrid training just isn't for me. Maybe what I see on social media is impossible, a fantasy, I thought. But what I soon realized is not that hybrid training doesn't work, is that most people, including myself, do it incorrectly. Most people fail hybrid training for three primary reasons. One, they don't adjust their training volume. Two, they train with too much intensity. And three, they structure their week poorly. Let's start with the first one. Hybrid training can and does absolutely work for most people. But here's the thing, a lot of people make this critical mistake, and one of them is not adjusting their volume. What I mean by this is if you were lifting 6 days per week and then all of a sudden decide to start running 20 miles per week after never running at all, you will quickly see yourself burn out, feel tired, depleted, and flat. Why? Because your body needs time to adjust to a new stimulus. If you've never run before, you need to give your body time to adjust to the aerobic and structural impact of running. If you've never lifted before, you need to give your tendons and muscles time to adapt to the new stimulus on your joints. You do this by adjusting your volume. Instead of lifting 6 days per week, you reduce it down to 3 or 4 days per week, while slowly building running mileage 10% at a time. And here's mistake number two, especially with busy people. A lot of people assume as a hybrid athlete, especially because of social media, that you need to train 2 hours a day in the gym, hitting heavy compound lifts, heavy volume, heavy hypertrophy. But not only is this unnecessary, but it might actually be hindering your progress. Let me explain. You see, hybrid training requires a lot of energy demand. And as a result, you simply do not have the energy bandwidth to put in a 2-hour gym session while also doing a 2-hour run in the same day. Here's what you do instead. You do dramatically less volume, but up the intensity. Think all your heavy compound lifts, squat, bench, overhead press, deadlift. You hit those to 5 to 3 sets per rep range, and you will see your strength maintained, your muscle maintained, and also improved running performance and economy. As a hybrid athlete, you simply cannot afford to push your sets to failure. You need high quality sets, often leaving a couple reps in reserve. This will ensure that you're still getting strong, you're still maintaining muscle, but you're also not depleting your body of its vital energy. And here's the bright side. If you're already busy anyway, all these compound lifts can be hit within 3 45-minute sessions per week. That's it. You don't need to go to the gym 5 days per week for an hour and a half to 2 hours each session. 3 days per week with 45 minutes is more than enough to maintain strength and even build it over time. And now for mistake number three, and this one is really common. A lot of new lifters, when they start running, they think to themselves, okay, I'm out here, I'm about to push it, I'm about to run my first mile as fast as I can. The next day, I'm gonna run it faster. The next day after that, I'm gonna run it even faster. They're pushing their intensity every single session. They're getting their heart rates up to zone 3, zone 5. They're pushing their intensity every single run. And here's the thing, the logic on it, I understand. If I wanna get faster at running, I need to run fast, right? But slow your roll. Speed is absolutely a component to running faster. But when you have never ran before, you need to build your aerobic base. You need to build your heart, your lungs. You need to get your body used to the impact and strain of running. And that takes time. Weeks, months, even years of building an aerobic base and building these aerobic adaptations. It takes time. Yes, speed is a component, but most of your runs should be easy zone 2 runs, essentially at a nice conversational pace that you could theoretically hold all day if you had to. That is how your run should feel most of the time. Now let's talk the easiest way to structure your hybrid training as a busy person. And here's where social media kind of paints a certain picture. You see people training twice a day, every single day, running in the morning, lifting later on. And don't get me wrong, for some people, they can thrive off that. For the vast majority of people, that simply is not necessary. What you do instead is you alternate days. Give your body ample time to adjust to the stimulus of each type of session. For example, you run on Monday, the next day you strength train, and then again and again and again with that same pattern. If you can only afford to strength train twice per week, 3 times per week, for an hour or 45 minutes, you don't need to also run that same day. Now, don't get me wrong. At least for me, I have the certain schedule where some days it's optimal for me to train twice a day because I know for the next day I can't train at all. And if that is the case for you, then training twice a day is perfectly fine, but you don't have to do it. When it comes to hybrid training, recovery is your superpower, and making sure you alternate days or making sure you separate your stimulus by at least 6 hours from your running session or lifting session will ensure that you're allowing your body to properly recover, which will allow you to actually increase your performance long term. Here's the thing. You do not need to train 20 hours a week to do hybrid training. You just need to structure your training properly. Hybrid training isn't about being elite in everything. It is about optimizing your weaknesses and being well-rounded overall. Strong, fast, capable. And if that's your goal, if that's your intention to be a strong, fast, and capable human being and hybrid athlete, then please like and subscribe and follow along. We are building performance that lasts.